Nou, een hele goede avond. Wie er ook mag kijken straks. Weer even een rondje. We nog fantasy doen. Kijken waar we terechtkomen. Dat we vanavond een beetje de rest van de MSQ kunnen doen. Kijken. Oké. Gaan we dan zo. Ja. Kijken. Dat als een healer aan doen. Volgens mij. Right. Nou, dan gaan we verder. Volgende. Sharing the wealth. We begin. We are to spend the treasure wisely. Must first determine which groups benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the Satrap directly, so ask, act in my stead. We are to visit Yali and Dia and people. Tinian, I bid you to do the same at Palaka's stand. Be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once if you have ascertained the needs of the populace, you can convene at the leaders. Oké. Moet ik ergens naartoe natuurlijk. Ali. Ook eerst naar Jedlimat. Dat kan ook. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Daar is Matsuya. Hi, Matsuya. Oh, Marfa. I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. Missed boat then? Yeah. Anything the village needs. Suppose Alzadaal's artist. Trying to find buyers for fish. Oh, I sell a few here and there. So much more difficult. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as it can. Nou, eens even kijken wat de anderen te zeggen. Oh, Junkmonger. Greetings and welcome. This is your first visit to Avner. Try my special armor. Refreshing zest cannot be. What could such a cost you? Normally I part with 3 bottles for the first price of 800 gil. You low as 10,000. Practically stealing from me. Ah. Not turning a profit these days. Harsh, my friend. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes. Okay, welcome. Thank you for following. Geigen, Sister Spare Me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see days. I myself barely have to buy local prices, I tell you. Didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea. I'd be scavenging for traps in the street. Goedenavond, hey, hoe gaat het? Bij mij gaat het wel best hoor. Als je het nieuws vanavond hebt gezien, dan word je niet echt blij. Even kijken, waar moet ik nou heen? Kant op. Oh, daar. Hey, what the hell, what the fuck? There's the port. Well, shambles it. Okay. Trade routes are open. Or now that the day has passed, certain. A small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Oh my. Hoe gaat het met jou? Nombre. Goeie logo. Leuk je te ontmoeten vanavond. Add to that, sailors were lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. Okay. If Alzadaal and his consortium was sure he'd found a way to turn fortunes around. That was a man who done. Oké, dan moet ik naar Megaduta. Kijk, en daar. Oh. Hey, het is goed om te horen, of te lezen moet ik zeggen. Ja. Ah. Hoe was jouw dag vandaag? Ja. Ah, my life's turn. I've just made it back myself. Oeh, kijk, vakantie, dat is fantastisch. Heb je nog een beetje plannen van met deze vakantie? Nombre? Ik zelf zit nog even met deze game om het laatste stukje nog even af te maken. Ik was wel even benieuwd wat jij misschien van plan bent. Hopelijk is het goed. Ga je nog ergens heen of zo? You rotate this vessel. Oh. I've flown across the island a fraction of. Spontaan even op vakantie, ja, leuk. Misschien is het wel wat om naar Dublin te gaan of zo. Daar zijn wat leuke feestjes volgens mij deze zomer. Maar dat is eigenlijk een beetje afhankelijk van het vliegverkeer wat daar naartoe gaat. Misschien een idee. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least. There are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Ja, dat is ook waar. Fair enough. Yeah. My inquiry is the people of Palak stand were unanimous in their reply. Are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but persevered with some assistance from Yatlim. Oh, ik wens jou ook een hele fijne avond. Hey, Tabé, bedankt voor de follow. I understand. Always been an independent community, and forager alike. Was assured that the jungle provides for the most part. Laka's stand has weathered the disaster better than. I myself heard good news and bad. Quarrymen were cautiously optimistic. Full wagon of giants all foreign trade to a foreign trade. Oops. Such visitors are few and far between. Compared to the best years, the weight of stone Safner has been light in. Nation is small and isolated. Pretty dependent on a city to identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Akia? Okay, blah 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 blah. Let's see. Without a dedicated buyer, average fisherman must struggle to load his daily catch. Why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and storage embodied. Reminded of a child, I spied as I made my way back to the palace. Father lost trunk there. Any variations of I know lives lost. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves. Come. Fine. Opinion. Consider the perspectives. Devise a plan to help people confront this adversity. Like you be I announced also hey. Olympia.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Alzadaal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need.
So it is.
And lo, that day hath come. Made aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor.
Oh.
In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Alzadaal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society.
Ja, daar ben ik het eigenlijk wel een beetje mee eens.
Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Oké. Vraag dan aan mij wat...
Of course, we can draw on trading profits to build a new institution.
Probleem opgelost. Zie je wel.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Alzadaal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Oh. Moet ik die policy een naam geven?
A successful merchant. I believe I see thy reasoning.
Oké. Laat me horen.
Alzadaal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavnair, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores.
Daar ben ik het wel mee eens.
Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Alzadaal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Mirad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Alzadaal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
And the wealth complete. Yay! Oké, op naar de volgende. Bridging the Rift. For putting forth Alzadaal's name. Those whose lives be enriched will take comfort in seeking legacy. Oh, forgive me for not speaking. I bear a message. Arca. Yestola. He asked that you meet her at the High Crucible at your inconvenience. Understood. Lola must have finished the study of Void Gate. We hear what she has to say then. Yeah, we'll go with you. Who? Arshan? Thought the Satrap was too busy setting vision. Thanks have been well-oiled cogs of stations for understand what needs to be done. I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon have reached concerning the gate's construction. Yeah. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. Let's go and see wat er nu moet gebeuren. Het is verschrikkelijk kut. Ah, je stola. En filmpje.
Right, here we all are.
Yes, we are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening.
Okay.
For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. one must introduce the subject before launching into specifics.
Means.
From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them.
Okay.
Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first.
Okay.
You
Flashback.
touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness.
Okay.
In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first.
Star.
The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Say so.
Then what of the many void sent found in the source? Who guides them here and how?
Dat is een hele goede vraag, Estenian.
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
Okay. Tel.
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate.
Oké, dank je voor deze uitleg. Ga verder.
The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact.
Oké. Nog steeds duidelijk.
Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Okay.
Wait. You said that void scent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
Ja, dat is een hele goede vraag, is Daniel. Heb je daar een antwoord op? Is
No,
waarom?
the danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Oh yeah.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th, and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Ik kan me niet herinneren dat ik bij de 13th ben geweest. Wel bij de first, maar niet de 13th. Count me in, is er daar.
I had a feeling you might say that.
Oké.
Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Alzadaal, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Ja. Wie does?
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project.
Daimir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
Oh, okay.
A man-made void scent.
Oké. Blijkbaar iets nieuws voor je stola.
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daimir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
Wel. The restricted section of Numenor. Kan niet anders.
Yes, it may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Alzadaal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
Yep. Right behind you is Sola.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Hier gaan we dan weer. Daar is ze. Hey Stola. Het op een phenomenal. He is willing to have it once more. Okay, talk. Okay, let's go inside. Ah. Filmpje. Ah, quite a steampunk at that. Good for you. I forgive the intrusion, scholar. I hope you might help mission to enter Newfound's encrypted archives. Oh, no furtive forays into text this time. What this nonsense of variety? All this wide world of what so compels you to grab the vault of forbidden? Fascinating. No idea such as Oké, dat heb je wel vaker. Alternate zit in a hockey. Would have been surprised if you had. My assumption is correct. Church left behind by how the Emir had lain dormant in Charlian archives from this century. You unearthed the treasures, then you don't cross over void. That is, in fact, precisely and what end well. Develop a method of traversing the rift, or one that might keep Earth friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. Heard, felt, and thought about the truth of the world, echo of the future. And yet I want to understand everything, ravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate, too, if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Marvel. Okay. Audacious proposal worthy of a master Motoya herself. After hearing the wise Air Force, I, for one, do not believe you would use knowledge. Okay. I see no reason not to present your request for forums. Though your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed economy. Master Fortuno, of course. Can hardly ignore the earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We'll pay a visit to the Livraia estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I wager. If you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity, of course, Spark, be sure to pass on any revelation. Okay. Let's see. All right. House Levelier. Butler. Filmpje. Nog meer filmpjes. Prima. Alpha, Mr. Ishola. How may I be of service? I want to speak to Master Fortuno. Whom by any chance? As the master is in residence. Inform him that he has guests. Huh. Millions would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. I have some matter of import to discuss. And pray proceed. My full attention. I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Pollard Montagna, Montechain, expressed much the same sentiment. He will not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. Understand that the restricted archives are restricted for a good reason, yes. A pressing need exists, and why risk the consequences? Brother who misses her sister was his guardian and friend. Selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. Brother has given up on thoughts of reunion, and his effort over all claims final days, loyal to the world, wild bird. This no vital mission, perhaps reuniting, feels a worthy cause to. One who feared losing his own loved ones 20 years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation would be. Reflections are still very much a mystery, offering to share your experiences first. Their exchange. Let's celebrate just that. Forum was still be. I'll add your requests to the list of today's deliberation. Deliver the decision to you at Valdesian. Okay. Valdesian. No, there's nothing in. Okay. Hola. Filmpje. Opnieuw. So, what did the forum decide? Put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burned some this here in Charlie and salted the earth for good measure. It became clear that our student was the petitioner in question. Well, no few members voiced their member was reminded in certain terms. Incredible debt we owe you. Curved to violence, grumbles and stiffen a few spines. Agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. Wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Well, I'm sure you are aware. Hidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution and the repercussions if not. I wish you well in your endeavor and bid you a good day. The same, that one. Uncompromising. Very stoicism is exactly what Charlian needed to guide it through. 1, 2 Exodus. Okay. Alright, Ishtola. Rather well, I think. Child, I dreamed of any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes. Now I can simply walk in through the door. My focus will be on finding Damir's research. Of course, of so much complexity. Also, being a little giddy. Bridging the rift. Complete. Yay. Okay. Restricted reading. We're heading directly to the archive from here, I presume. Presume correctly. I want to speak with the index page. Been instructed to grant you access to the contact section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. A pleasure, Billy. Find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? Of course. And where shall we go today? Sodium. Daar gaan wij. En dan moet ik daar. Oké. Oké, even babbelen. Was noemen aan. Index page. Online guest applied. View archives. Yes. Tap and please note that the use naked flame.
If House Damir's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Yeah, let's. Search the House Damir's research note. Okay. Untitled Goldsmith's Journal. In a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brother. Eyes blazing not with hunger but trembling. Candle's flame beginning to flicker out at any moment. Wonder if she is even heard. Such distinctions essential, significant. What matters is the love I feel for it. Okay. Okay, hold on. Primal disquisitions. Huh. In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, the Amalja summoned Ifrit, a patron. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic lizard-like being with a potent command and fire aspect. Consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer. It's unsurprising, not expected, that the resulting day form entity would manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshipper. And might an ether should one who believes in an almighty attempt dollar himself grace us with his presence, or other embodiment of divine sagacity. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Nope. Hier dan. Epiphanies of House Daemir. I think that they did it. Following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating a rift-spanning aperture devised by Khan, 9th Patriarch of House Daemir. Present these research notes to the faculty of Charlian Studium as both a token of our friendship and expression of our boundless admiration. Okay, yay. Goed, Dola. Well done, Marfa. I think you may have found our prize. Filmpje.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Daemir's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about.
Yeah. Let's. Hey, juist.
Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard.
Okay.
From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations.
Okay.
Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism.
Okay.
We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial atomos.
Hola.
How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon void scent, has been discussed among academics for years now.
En die stola is verkouden op een of andere manier.
Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Daemir went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive.
Yeah.
It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves. Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
Misschien later. Much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, but this is far outside my field of experience. Fortunately, we know a Hanish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Daemir project. Business here is concluded for the moment. Pass on our regards to Someone can help us, Idana. We return to Fafnir and look for her at the great work. Turn at the great work as Ilsebard. Ah. Hier is die stola. Filmpje. Hoe kan het ook anders? Lula tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study. Want me to be part of it. I have no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Lily. By the sisters. This is the mark of House Daemir. Never even knew such a work existed. You should. Was sequestered Numenon's restricted archives after all. Was. word within is forbidden knowledge. Forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right in my unseen hand. Hardly wait to read it. I think Emir were developing such marvelous techniques long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock atom? Yes, 1,000 times yes. Hey, eager are you? Work on a Damir project that had even the redoubtable scholars of Charlian trembling in theirs. No alchemist of great work. A woman after my own heart. What I suppose I should ask. What do you mean to do with this big mouth simulacrum wants me? Oh, there's a secret void gate. Sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Day of revelations indeed. Okay. The purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this portal. I will need to delve. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account the factor. By all means, accompany us to the vault. Plan to lead us back there shortly. Finished gathering the components I require. Charlian's market provides the raw aquamarine and pure water crystal. I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. Such a liquid, you need to go further than the font of Maya. Ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which and now is known to enliven the whole. Sounds perfect. Be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool. I will Britra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without authority to command the Void King. Will be about it then. Meet back here. Okay. Polaka band. Oh. No, thank you. Astrally dense pocket. Ah. Live with the flask of every aspect wanted to Istola. Okay, waar is Istola? Great work. Okay. Ah. That's flash for me. Yes, here it is. Sufficed. Yay! Oké, naar de volgende. Void Theory. Look what I came across. Justinian seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Okay, that may be true. Right then. Now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. We have need of Matsuya's boat again? Not this time. Once Istola informed me of our mission, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Marchiali. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host. Okay? En dan moet ik weer even met de map. Dan gaan we met de map. Begin. Nee, dankjewel. Okay. Ship is yours to command. Okay. Oh, thanks. Let's sail at once. This is so exciting, Alzadaal's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with my own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. Read the Weaver's wording. Yeah. Duh. Filmpje.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the Bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
Okay, explain yourself, Pistola. Zeg het
There's
maar.
something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
Ah.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yeah.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Meaningful. Say nothing and look meaningfully at Destinian. I'll do that.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you'd not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal.
Oh, yeah, that is like.
We needn't attempt anything so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
Let me guess. A proxy?
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, frost and foam!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Yeah.
Oh, come now. That was adorable.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve us well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Okay. Open the gate.
Yes, of course.
Ze smelten de kaasje.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nidana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Okay. Broth and foam.
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we? Nixies, into the void.
Oké, nu moeten we wachten. Tot ze terug zijn, weet ik veel. Waiting. Filmpje, uiteraard.
I think we've waited long enough.
Oké.
Nixies, return to my side.
Oh.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
Yep.
They're coming through!
In the name of Alzadaal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
So it seems.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
Unfortunately.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense no changes to its equilibrium.
Okay.
Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
So it would seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation. It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
Dat is misschien wel een goed idee, Istola.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness. In Emmett Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Una Kalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used a stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition? I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vritra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way. But first, I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
That's a good idea, Stola.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could, if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives? Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
We will see you back in the city then.
Void theory complete. Yay! Okay, a Satrap's duty. Oké. Gaan we dan. Once the Dana succeeds in replicating the mock Atomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. He'll be crossing the threshold alongside us. I realize this is more my end. And to be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. If we discuss this later, there's something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so sick? They at least had good reason not wanting to explain my Nixie. Proceed with our other preparations then. We saw. Boarding skill can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, talisman's durability will need to be improved if it is to stand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. I think that it's a problem and address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemist. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation? Elegance. Perhaps they once did, but availing ourselves of elegant insights tends to both process. Nay, I believe a more straightforward approach is in order, consulting with the engineers of Garland Ironwork. I recall Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energy. His experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that Ironworks strengthen the boarding skill. Come, let us visit their operation in Ragar's Reach, mission their best and brightest. Oké, we gaan weer terug naar Ragar's Reach. Dat is interessant. Oh, ik ben er al. Martha, what brings you to the Ironworks? Work. We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he's available. Master Sid, certainly. I'll see if he has a moment free. Filmpje. Hey, Sid, my man. How are you? Pleasure as always. You have a job for us. Heading into the void. Find a lost dragon. Sounds almost different compared to your last adventure. I don't know if you could play anything that would surprise me after Fiona. That bloody mess. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. That there were signs of degradation. Seems some manner of corrosion has set in around the scratch on its surface. Much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case, our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. Right here. You have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets like. I'd be wary of applying a compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. We'll construct a protective casing. One utilizing metal alloys with high etherical conductivity, not to impede the talisman's primary function. Suit of armor, as you said. Nero has compiled data on 13. I'll have him pitch in with the design just. Only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow on. I swear, I never had such a reckless emperor. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the. Understand, do you know how busy your schedule is? Final result will doubtless. Arpa will be talking Jesse under a constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. I think we can leave the rest of Sid's hands. Turn to the great work. See how Nidana is getting on with the mock atoms. Alright. En nu word ik achtergelaten. Leuk. Oké. Filmpje. Nog een keer.
Ah, hey Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records. What I found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Alzadaal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components, and I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial atomos. I then visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Harnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together. But I am Satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Yeah, explain yourself.
Celestinian told us of your predicament. For centuries you have protected Rads at Han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire? We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet...
Now you listen to me, Varshan! You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. But do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
Okay. Oh.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Your Excellency, I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
Allebei kan.
Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor Alzadaal. My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavne for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the Satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
Oké, volgende stukje. You surprised me, Estinian. Lone wolf, you have shown an unusual degree of, should we say, involvement. Rita reached this conclusion. It was for the greater good. Burns' thundering sighs were keeping the citizens awake at night. Travelers believing the palace wrecked by some unnatural storm. From your own answer then, in this line to venture into the void. When I was one with Nidhogg, vengeful thoughts were my thought, this endless rage my rage. Soul-chilling grief we nursed for that Tosco's. Would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. There is a chance there of Victor that pain, I will follow him. Any other scions we need? Rather not bother our comrades with aught less than the dire threat to the star. New force, new purpose. Our artist, like the first, blood of light was altered for its devastation complete. 13 has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan as such to explore the void instead, drawing to safety after each would be more convenient and peace and with some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. Palace chambers should come reconvene outside me. Daar zijn jullie. Yes, filmpje. Oh, we will require suitable accommodation. We make something available for our guests. The chambers are presently hosting a great amount of pressure we carried out to the vault. Once the foundations begin in earnest, however, we can trove and make a room or ready for habit. Please inform me when you have completely arranged. I feel settled in my good. As ever, you are most gracious. Risk yourselves to aid me in my search for Alzadaal. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only would know more about our destiny. Gods only know how long our exploration take. What our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I am grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I will return to the great work and lend what help I can to Newfound. Move preparation. Make ere we enter 15th. Fine. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Hope. Pass the time before we depart. Know that this means. Know what this means. Purpose need not. We are headed to another world. Find what you can in the. Are a traveler. Adventurer at heart. Satrap's duty. Complete what might hit. Correct hit rate. Hit. Yes. Meanwhile, in the 13th. Okay. Filmpje.
Thus I am returned. To this world, bereft of saviors.
Let paths walked or also in spirit. Oké. Nu ben ik er helemaal klaar mee. Oké. Zo. Dit was onverwacht. Had toch echt wel wat meer Dungeons and Trials verwacht. Nieuwe Dungeons and Trials. Nou, misschien kan dat de volgende keer wel. Ik ga het er hierbij even bij laten, luidjes. En dus ik zeg wel rusten tot de volgende keer. En daarbij keizersnee. Bye.